Welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Jacob, and today we are on our second day of React Native EU 2023 here in Wrocław. And with me is my beautiful guest. If you could please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Anisha. I'm a developer advocate at Amazon, and I just did my talk on Storybook.
Awesome. All right. You did mention that during your talk, so I'm gonna ask that. What the hell is a developer advocate? Just brief introduction.
You know what's funny is I have an article with that exact title. What the hell is a developer?
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
What a great title.
Well, if you do want to read the article, my handle is, my website is anisha.dev, and you can find it on that. But in 2 words, or like I said on stage, a developer advocate is a developer's best friend. So it's my job to make it easier for a developer to develop, and in my case for Amazon. So internally, externally, it's my job just to be that voice of the developer, whether it's writing sample code that makes it easier for them to implement a certain API, or making a YouTube video that makes it a little bit easier to digest, like the end-to-end process of implementing in-app purchasing, going to conferences, of course,
Right.
And sharing some of the cool stuff I myself am working on or Amazon is working on.
All right.
Yeah.
So for behalf of all developers, I guess, thank you.
Well, thank you. My job wouldn't exist without the developers.
Right.
And yeah, I was a developer myself, so I know what it is like to the struggle. So it's like, at least now I can help alleviate some of them.
Right. That's great. All right. So what was your talk about? It had a really catchy title, so please go ahead and describe it.
So my talk was titled A Storybook About Testing, and it was all about leveraging Storybook for the ever-feared world of testing. I think developers, we work at a fast pace, and sometimes testing is forgotten, and everybody uses Storybook for just visualizing UI components and sharing them. And I think there's so much capacity to use it for testing, to make testing easier. And that's what I wanted to highlight, as well as show how you can actually use Storybook for React Native, because, it's a very web-first framework, but there's a really cool add-on that means you can utilize all the web parts of Storybook, but for React Native. So highlighting that's maintained by Danny Williams. He's a great guy. I think he's done some awesome work on it, and I think I like the tool Storybook, and I think he's made it possible to use all the cool web features for React Native. So I just wanted to highlight what's the art of the possible.
Right, and I agree with you. There's so much potential in Storybook, and I think that, as you mentioned, people usually use it to share components, but not really for testing it, right? So it's great that you expose this, because maybe some people on the audience, or now some people watching it on YouTube, will actually be like, that's something I could give it a try, right?
Yeah.
Great. And by the way, I really like the form, like the storytelling.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of Ella.
Yeah.
Ella's in there, right? So for those of you who are wondering what the hell I'm talking about, just go ahead and watch the talk, because it was really smart and clever.
Thank you.
So if you could, one takeaway that you would like your listeners to take back home after watching or listening to your talk, what would that be?
Well, like you said, the characters meant to represent the struggles all developers may have within their teams. And the takeaway would be that Storybook will help you alleviate some of your problems that you may not know existed, or you may not have thought there might have been a solution to.
All right. And from my perspective, it can make testing a little bit more fun.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Exactly.
All right. So why do you think this topic matters at all? Why is it important for you?
My background was React and React Native, and I used to work for an agency side of IBM that meant that we used to have to do a lot of rapid work, for companies. And I personally like talking about tech that I've used. I think sometimes when you work for a big corporation, you can get lost just only talking about the stuff you work on day to day.
Right.
But for me, Storybook is a passion. I really think it's a great tool, and I used it, and I do use it in my own personal projects. And I think I just wanted to showcase some of the work that I do myself versus the stuff that I have to do.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. So let's take a step back from your talk and let's have more of an overview of this
Sure.
conference, right? So,
Yeah.
what are your impressions of this year's edition of React Native EU?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. I think like the talks have been really great depth and broad. We've had stuff of like how I broke React versus like Hermes and like how to use it. And I think it's just a really good range for a beginner developer to an advanced developer to someone who's like a React maintainer. So I really like the range of talks, some great speakers. I think the beer that you guys have is incredible. I don't know. It's called, I don't know how to pronounce it. Weissner?
Yeah, I think that's how
Yeah,
we pronounce it.
yeah.
But it's our local brewery actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, a huge shout out to
Yeah,
these
yeah.
guys. The beer is awesome.
Yeah.
Also, non-alcoholic. They also got these. So
Yes, they do. They have all options, but
Yeah.
I think that one. I mean, I wish I could take and can't go home. Like it's really nice.
just go ahead.
And I'm not, I'm not even a beer drinker. I really like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go to Wrocław, check it
Yeah.
out, right? All right, cool. And so if you would describe this conference with just one sentence, what would that be?
Inspiring. Well, I guess I did one word, but yeah, inspiring. I think you come out of it like feeling almost refreshed about like all there is to learn and try out, and maybe even just feeling like a little bit inspired by like the work you're doing yourself. Like I think at Amazon we're trying to embed ourselves a little bit more in the React Native community. I think with the fact that Fire OS is Android, you can like some percentage of our apps are already React Native. And so you can right now deploy your app on a third app store. So you have Google Play, you have the iOS store, and people may not think about Amazon App Store as like a third option, but it's super easy, like supporting your app if it's in React Native from Google Play Store to Amazon App Store
Right.
would be really easy, because at the end of the day, Fire OS is just Android. But that's my job, is to make it easier, or help developers port their React Native apps over to the App Store. And I've learned so much that would help me maybe make more content on how that can be easier. I can take back some of the stuff I've learned and like improve processes for our own teams. And I think it's just inspiring to meet the people who make the tech that I work on the success it is today. So
It's funny that you're saying it's inspiring, because honestly today for my whole day I'm feeling like I should just grab my laptop and start building
right?
stuff,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So one last question that I have, or actually I would like to ask you
Okay.
to send a message to people who are maybe in the future
Yeah.
considering coming here to React Native EU 2024,
Okay.
but they're not quite sure about it yet.
It is the place to be if you are a React Native developer or thinking about becoming a React Native developer. You get to meet like the celebrities, I guess, of the React Native
yeah,
world. I mean,
Even rock stars,
I
right?
know, rock stars. Like these guys, you see their commits on GitHub, like their face popping up all over the place, and you
I
get to
know.
meet them and you get to have a conversation. I mean, I'm a Formula One fan, so meeting Gunther was epic. Like you get to meet people who you may not even have had the thought of like ever meeting in real life. And
Right.
I think it just is important to, it's an open source community. So integrating with the community, meeting the people who make it possible is all the more reason to come. You may also find something that you can contribute back. And I think I am learning. I never thought that like I might have a place, to contribute back. And I think there's so many avenues of work that I didn't think I would be part of, but I can be now. So.
Right. So come and get inspired,
Yeah,
basically,
come get
right?
inspired, basically. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
If you liked what you've just heard, check out more of the conference content. Follow us on social media, subscribe to our newsletter, and see you at React Native EU 2024.